Hello everyone, today I will be looking at the brand new J52 from Rapido that just came out a few weeks ago. The version I bought was the DCC Ready LNER later condition line black model, however many GNR, LNER, and BR versions of this model are also available from Rapido. In terms of price, the DCC Ready versions cost £165 on RRP, but you can get these for closer to £140 from the retailers. Obviously this is a lot of money for a small tank engine, so let's see if it is worth the price. As you can see, the logo comes in the standard Rapido packaging. One thing worth noting though is that there was no accessories pack in the box of my example, despite the fact that the instructions say that screw link and chain link couplings should be provided as well as fireman's tools, so I'm not quite sure what happened there, and I'm thinking I may need to contact Rapido since normally I do fit those parts. Once the logo is out of the box though, you can see that it is very nice. The model has a nice semi-gloss finish with very well printed lining, lettering, numbering, and the smoke box is painted into a black. In terms of detail, the model has many separately fitted parts, as you can see. This includes separately fitted handrails, which are made of wire, which is very good to see from Rapido, lamp irons, although unfortunately no lamps are included to fit to them, reversing rods, valve gear between the frame, lots of pipework and valves, and much more. The cab detail is also very impressive, as despite it being enclosed, all the gauges, pipes, handles, and so on are all painted, and the whistle and safety valve area all look really good as well. So as you can probably see, the model looks great, but how does it run? First I got the loco set up on my rolling road to run it in, and it ran okay here, though I couldn't get it to do super low speeds, but then again my rolling road is just hooked up to a cheap Bachmann train set controller, so to really test the performance I took the loco down to my layout after running it in. Unfortunately, as you can see, the crawl of the loco itself isn't great. It stutters and cogs a lot, and tends to cut out at slow speeds. This is a shame in my opinion, seeing as the loco is a small tank engine that did a lot of shunting work, and I personally bought the loco primarily to use as a shunter, so for me the low speed was very important. As you can see though, the loco is perfectly capable of hauling a freight train or passenger train at a moderate speed. But to see if the model is any better at running at slow speeds on DCC, I decided I'd try fitting the model with a decoder. The decoder I'm using in this model is a GaugeMaster Next18 Omni decoder. To fit this, I first had to unscrew the upper body screws from the running plate. To fit the decoder, I had to undo the two screws in the front and two screws that face out at the rear, which are closest to the track. The instructions tell you how to do this, and they are written correctly, which is a nice change coming from Rapido, seeing as I had an issue with body removal instructions for the Y7 and base keeper plate removal instructions on the Jones Good. Inside there is the Next18 DCC socket, so I simply pulled a little on the blanking plate to get it out and dropped in the decoder, making sure to push it in place properly. On the track, I was pleasantly surprised to find that the Loco runs much better at slow speeds on DCC. It's still not perfect, and there is a bit of cogging, but it is much more controlled than on analog, and I think it is a bit smoother as well. This is also before I adjusted the CVs. As you can see as well, the Loco still runs fine at higher speeds on DCC. I will now have a short running session for the model. Overall then, what are my opinions on Rapido's new J52? Well, it is a bit of a mixed bag. The livery, application, and detail on the model are absolutely outstanding, and in terms of looks, I would say this is one of the best looking that I've ever seen, and it is also made primarily out of metal. That being said, looks are not all that matters, and while the model runs well at moderate to high speeds, it does not run well at low speeds, especially on analog. While fitting a DCC decoder did solve some of these issues, it still isn't perfectly smooth. To me, low-speed control is really important on small tank engines that are used for lots of shunting work, and I think many others feel the same way. And for 165 pounds, I can't help but be slightly disappointed by the performance. Overall though, I think Rapido have done a fairly good job with the J52, but I can't help but feel like the performance issues need to be mentioned. If you're in market for a small LNER region tank engine to run behind a goods train, then I can definitely recommend the model as long as you are okay with the high price. However, if you're in market for a shunter and are thinking about purchasing this model, then I definitely recommend thinking a little bit before making a purchase. One other thing to mention as well is that Hornby just released a new J52 a few months ago, and while I do not personally own one, I have heard nothing about positive about the model, so if you want a J52, I also recommend checking out some reviews of that model as well. That's about it for today's video though, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!